When you zoom in on the Arabian Peninsula with Google Maps, well, quite a lot, really zoom in, you realize there's a small island country called Bahrain. We shouldn't underestimate it because of its modest size of 786 square kilometers, since it's actually one of the richest countries in the world. We all know why. The question I'm asking in this video is, how is such a tiny island connected to the Arabian Peninsula by a road, an independent country, and not part of either Saudi Arabia or Qatar? Are you interested? Alright, then stay until the end of the video. Thanks to its geographical location, the island of Bahrain has been an important commercial hub between Mesopotamia and the cultures of the Indus Valley since ancient times. For that reason, it fell under the rule of great powers such as the Assyrians, Babylonians, and Persians. However, its modern history begins with the Portuguese occupation in 1521. The Portuguese scooping up small territories all over the place to build their maritime empire? Nothing we don't already know. In 1602, they were expelled by the Safavid Persian Empire, who did not Persianize the territory. Instead, the local population of Bahrain kept their language, Arabic. However, they did have a religious influence. Shiism in Bahrain was strengthened, and to this day it remains the majority in the country. About 60% Shiites versus 40% Sunnis. By the mid-18th century, the Safavids were in tremendous decline. And what about power? Well, it doesn't tolerate a vacuum. In 1783, the Sunni Al-Khalifa dynasty came to power, led by Ahmed Muhammad Khalifa, and they have ruled almost continuously since then. Almost continuously, because you wouldn't expect the European powers not to be interested in such a strategic territory, right? And which power dominated the seas back then? Exactly. The British intervened in 1861, turning Bahrain into a protectorate. In exchange for security, London controlled its foreign policy, shaping the modern state and protecting the sea route to the jewel of the crown, India. Bahrain was then included among the crucial states, along with Qatar and the United Arab Emirates. This situation remained the same until 1971, when the United Kingdom withdrew. And now what? As soon as the British withdrew due to the decline of their global influence, the Union of the Nine was proposed. Bahrain, Qatar, and the 7 emirates that today make up the United Arab Emirates. However, the negotiations failed. The Al-Khalifa dynasty, which had ruled the island for centuries, had room to negotiate to ensure that their decision would be respected by the other petromonarchies. After all, the legacy of the Portuguese, Persians, and British was not so much colonial, but rather to create a strong trading post that was immune to pirate or foreign attacks. Therefore, the kings of Bahrain inherited a country that, thanks to its infrastructure and of course its booming oil-based economy, was able to maintain its sovereignty. And the giant next door, Saudi Arabia, turned out to have never been interested in annexing Bahrain, but quite the opposite. It chose to maintain a moderate influence, opting to ensure the stability of the country. This was reflected in the fact that during the Shia protests of 2011 in the context of the Arab Spring, Saudi Arabia intervened in favor of the Sunni monarchy. And guess who supported the opposition? Well, who else? As for Qatar, it turns out that the current ruling dynasty, Al-Khalifa, which expelled the Persians during the 18th century, is originally from Qatar. However, this has not prevented rivalries from arising with the Qatari Al Thani family over control of the trade routes. This has led to political and economic tensions such as mutual boycotts, with Bahrain being supported by Riyadh and Qatar, allegedly by Iran. So as you can see, Bahrain exists thanks to its strategic geographic position. The powers surrounding the tiny island were not interested in turning it into a mere extractive colony, but rather in strengthening the small island they saw as an important trading post. The current ruling dynasty knew how to capitalize on this, which is why they have been able to stay in power for 2.5 centuries. What other reason do you think explains the curious existence of Bahrain as a sovereign country?